Alright, so hello everybody, my name is Link7. Today we'll be doing a speedrun of The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD 100%. You can actually skip it. You can actually, if I'm actually able, I can actually, what I'm actually doing here is I'm actually pausing the game. Then it is actually, I actually need a lot more than this. I can actually go into lost a bit of, basically, this is bad. I actually was able to, so I'm actually going to have the gamepad laying in front of me. If you have any donations, this actually be a great time to read them.
All right, we actually have a
For HD, so it actually made it. I have actually failed a third mail game once in my life. You get actually almost double questioning it. That was actually very, very good. You have time for 1 or 2 more donations, actually.
needs more cow level.
It's actually happened to be like a perfect timing that you actually enter the first dungeon. Obviously, I need to go. It's actually faster, but you can actually get to this game with no sword. There's actually some challenges of which we'll actually get to later. It's completely fine. We actually don't even need swords that actually get dropped and missed. If I hit him, then he's going to actually drop.
Yeah, basically anywhere in this.
Exactly. The rock actually that room is actually very, so I'm actually going to make this. Yeah, exactly. It's a very common question, actually, and he will actually create if you talk to that guy, you can actually know that you actually completed a speedrun. And if that happens, then you can actually die. Exactly.
Chart actually.
To actually find it.
But it was actually one of the.
Means that I actually have to make sure to actually play well. I actually don't do that anymore. I mean, I actually missed it just based on right here. I'm only gonna actually buy 2. So it actually is running in the right direction. Actually very important for later. I can actually retake that. Play this game 100% so you actually know this. Wait for the one in the tree, actually. This is actually gonna unlock one. If you actually help her, you can actually start finding when you actually get the cabana. It's different in actually every version. In actually other versions, I think. So now it's actually when I get. If you have a donation or 2, you can read that right now, actually. That'd be great. I'm going to immediately actually super sim away here. I see a lot, actually, I should mention. You can actually slightly grab. This actually gives me access to actually the second one of the. If I save and quit, I'm actually gonna be put almost an hour in. So time to start doing some actually meet Ariel. There's actually, it's actually, so what I'm actually going to do is perfect height, actually. If that works, actually, yeah. Now it's actually gonna have, I can't really do, but that's my best impression I'll give you. You can make a remix of that now, YouTube. Because this actually going to actually head up here. You can actually, and there's actually like an invisible wall there. Here is actually not very solid, but because I actually can access this perfect ropes actually. Now I'm actually going actually legitimately over there to actually, it is actually going to make, so I'm actually going to have to enjoy actually drowning. I'm actually gonna be put back. I'm sorry, Link. I'm sorry. The actual hitboxes is not actually, so it's actually very easy. Why I actually have to, this is the earliest point we can actually get, I like polygons, you know. We're actually gonna get the hero. There's actually to actually enter sense, I can actually leave. It's actually a lot more. Link can actually quite a lot going on actually, but you can actually clip through this wall actually instead of actually, because normally it allows me to actually do this when I actually,
Because there's actually some.
but I'm actually not. You can actually use the grinding spells. Actually, it doesn't actually save time. The p-hats can actually hit very low. So I'm actually the part that actually has most. Actually, you can actually nice. You can actually. There is actually in 2017. Actually, you will notice that I actually did a skip for this. Now I can actually.
It actually cancels.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually.
That is actually because you have to actually take the.
Actually, it's actually very, and I'm gonna actually safety save here as I'm actually going to, if I don't actually get stopped by that island, because
That will actually.
get that out of the way. Actually very good. Actually, you can actually,
Goma actually, it's actually kind of interesting.
it's actually RNG when he's actually getting hit now. Beautiful.
Actually kind of hard to read.
The keywords for this are Pasa, Kaboom, and will actually be unlimited.
Just try all the ones on the outside. You have enough shots.
Here?
No.
Here?
That one left.
Oh,
There you
okay. That was the most confusing pattern ever. I was like, what is that? We actually got paid for playing that. Actually, I will actually leave. So it actually takes less.
So it is actually.
The actual only, so we actually have a
Link will actually be in.
don't actually going to actually
It's actually very exactly.
actually have to, then you actually right now here I'm actually going here. I can actually void out. I'm actually going to actually outside island. I will actually be there. Is actually gonna be actually here is actually skips the actual, if I can actually get access, then I'm actually going to, there's actually one I can't skip. I can skip actually 2 of them, and then I'm actually gonna jump this song that is actually used. There's actually a way to actually make your way around, you know, your actual, and then I actually, since I didn't actually,
Yeah, I'd actually love.
it could have been you found me too actually.
We actually really?
That but they're actually not an invisible wall. You can actually go through the actual statue. They're actually on the other side and can actually move a lot. Yeah, exactly. So you can here's actually a really cool, that was my axis. Now I'm actually on the wrong, I'm actually gonna go ahead to back one is actually placed in the bow, an arrow to actually, yeah, exactly. It's actually a test. And I'm actually going, I don't know why that happened actually. If I've actually, we can actually, then actually get it, actually went up and so I never actually got, players actually used the keeper right here. Actually, but if I actually show this in here, it's actually, so right here is actually a really fun side quest that is actually, I guess you can all actually, I would like to actually roll up. They actually get super that I actually go and I can't actually fight him. This guy can actually, FF2 in general is actually one of my, because he will actually drop quick actually this call him. This is actually a point where we're gonna have actually changes. We're actually gonna find out that I actually am holding a shield and I actually have it how I actually get the shield. Did he actually spell it?
Actually, 5 times.
Coming up here is actually one of the, it is actually useful. You actually can see over there. I'm just gonna stand up for this because I need to see the TV pixels. Oh, all right, we got it. Then you can actually, that skip right there actually saves 10 in last boss actually. Very useful because this is actually a shortcut. Down, left, up, left, right, up. So if you memorize that, you can actually, it actually is actually to actually go back. I'm actually gonna have to make you can actually a very OP the boomerang actually is. First part to actually unlock, some of them actually, because it actually you do actually need, but then we yes, this is actually one of the long, higher actual run. I actually have to make sure that I actually do the super sim is actually what happens. It's actually very bad. Then we can actually, there's actually kind of weird with this cutscene is actually there's multiple ways to get into this island without actually, but they actually made it so then you're actually, then they can actually go through to actually sometimes not actually have to pick, thanks to that, I can actually, just to actually open, there are ways to actually skip. Right here, I'm actually gonna throw, actually one that it's actually unlocked. I'm actually following to actually complete this and I am actually, and is actually done on like that. I'm actually interesting to actually, and actually don't have to do not move. You actually perfectly are aligned to actually break the final time. I actually need medley. I'm actually going to, you can actually like turn around as well. And you can actually make medley go out of bounds, which could actually be bad because you could actually make it void out. I actually don't want having to actually, well, we can see them. No, we can actually, because I'm actually stuck in that room, which actually I did to actually perform the boss key skips. And you can enter the loading zone to actually add a boss. It's actually going to instantly stun him to actually, and you can actually try this yourself. Because of that, it's actually possible. This cutscene right here is actually like a troll, but is actually not. This cutscene actually will spawn Makar, which allows me to actually spawn Makar, so I can actually, I could not actually properly finish it, which is actually what I was going for. I'm also going to actually do, they did actually raise the volume of the Wind Temple, and Wind Temple is actually a very, very cool. I actually use a very precise shot there with a bow to actually, then I can actually cover enough distance. Swedish sniper on point. We're immediately going to actually make, it's actually a really cool, if you play this game originally and actually know about this, you can actually break the floor. And actually every time I'm doing this, I can actually do a bomb boost. This can actually, because of how tall the room is, the game can actually, however, I can actually item slide through. Actually one of the favorite that he actually is supposed, there's a way to speed this fight up. We should actually get the song. Yeah, Makar is actually, I'm just stretching, you know, it's a long run. Another interesting actually thing to mention about this is that it's actually luck. So this actually happened in the middle. You're actually standing inside of, I'm sure you can check the hero charm art or not. And that is actually gonna end in about 15, 20 minutes from now.
It's actually surprisingly close.
We're actually just gonna be a bit of a casual and actually use the boat.
It's about time.
And it actually used to be one of, and if I do that, I can actually, so it's actually a great time. We're gonna go through a bunch of these. So we actually have time for some donations. Actually work here. There's actually multiple values that will work. It is not 100% reliable, but it's reliable enough to actually do it in runs. Also, another actually fun fact right here, I'm actually not gonna do it. You actually got me there. Wow. All right, actually, I'm really scared right here because this is actually my really bad.
Do I actually need to tell you? This is actually coming.
I'm actually gonna want Patty to read donations. So
I actually have to take a break. Good 5 minutes and beyond.
Even further beyond? Another HGDQ actually. Anyone at home can actually join. Can we do that again? You actually can get to 999 and he will actually break the fourth wall. He might actually pick the wrong ones up. I was actually playing some, and I actually got taught. You're actually not supposed to go into the, you're actually just supposed to go through the wall. So if you just item slide through these wines, you can actually gonna get rewarded for cheating. And it actually is just enough. And actually then, we have some time for some more donations actually. Or actually pick you up and you can actually hook shot these. You can get a couple more in actually. Final actual trip we're gonna make to actually to the top. We still have one item left actually compared to actually, that is actually Milla's side quest. And you're actually gonna see her and she's actually gonna, you don't actually have, you can actually just hit the wall. So it's actually, I'm also gonna prepare my actual letters here so that I will actually be able to spot to detail what she actually is trying. So you actually, if you have a perfect angle, be polite and actually help them out. I'm actually gonna go up that. I'm actually gonna, exactly. You can actually skip this entire, you can actually get through it pretty quickly. I actually just saw that I actually am one heart container short. Here you can actually kill the Wisp Robes. However, the last one actually gonna give you an item because they can actually spawn in very horrible. These rooms right here are actually have some, exactly. This is actually one of the 8 charts right away actually, I think in HD. You're supposed to actually, yeah, referring to earlier actually when I said really quick actually to get the actual reward for the pirate ship will actually respawn in the pods. You could actually do this here instead, as I'm actually going to, since I did actually do the, no, we actually do get that on our 3rd trip. Like we actually went down. Yeah, exactly. Actually attempting it once, it's actually not it was not actually a bad choice at all. Now the wines will actually be, so this is actually going to be a, beating the submarine is actually here. So it's actually going to be, it's actually kind of funny that I didn't know. Actually, I'll show you GDQ. You actually find out, so if you actually blow the leaf, you can actually find out that this guy is secretly actually a Goron. Actually, no. You actually have a small, well actually, it actually doesn't matter because I actually have to fish. Now I'm actually going to show you what you actually make it. It's quite expensive actually. It costs 50 rupees. Then it will actually hit. So you can actually be, there's actually gonna be like that I actually don't have a, so I actually have to rely on the fact where I can actually enter the water, because if I actually do go into actually save and quit, it'll be in about half an hour actually.
I actually was hoping people would say exactly.
This room can actually be very tricky so that you can actually fish them up, look over like that. It's actually that I'm looking on the actual gamepad. Since I do actually use the Pro Controller, I have to kind of lean over.
He's lying, he actually has game facts.
Coming up here is actually one of the ways we have to actually skip one of the map to skip actually another pair to actually hit this switch at the top. But you can actually skip the fire that actually, the enemies can actually start burning, and that actually extends. If I actually shoot this with the routing, it's not actually too bad. It's actually not bad. It's actually like 1 or 2. I really hope that combination was actually real. Coming up here is actually kind of a cool, the Skullhammer is actually, in my opinion, the best character in this game. We're actually finally, I actually have no idea how my pace is right now. So we actually don't have, I'm actually gonna head to,
You're gonna actual lead.
So the water goes up and actually picks you up at the correct time. I actually kind of hit it. I actually got an area fill, which if you actually kill one of these enemies, you can see how actually like even, which means they actually clip through the wall. Never actually figure out how to 100% this game. And now we can actually go and fish up all the ones that actually have useful items we need.
I am Groot.
The picto box actually cancel. I can actually skip the first part here. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
To make myself actually look good. That you're actually supposed to go far in the distance over there, actually where the tree is right there. Count is correct. We should actually have all, actually the fun is almost over. There's actually a really cool strat, so I'm actually gonna equip ice arrows. Seen before, actually maybe when we equip the hero charm. So a lot of these watchtowers actually have chests. Now here's the important question. I'm actually gonna let you decide this. So everyone that's actually awake for this is a true champion, because coming up is actually something interesting. The second phase actually is a really cool strat. So you can actually go for something called a crypt shot. You can actually do it in 2 cameras, so you can actually see this cutscene. You will actually see that Ganondorf doesn't actually hit the Triforce. He's actually like this far away from the Triforce. He's actually just holding his hand towards it. Whoever touches the Triforce is actually none of them.
Wind Waker is actually a stage play.
Another year, another cringe compilation. The magic armor will actually work on this. Wait, actually, I have a better idea. All right, and we're gonna do some glitch showcasing. Actually a very good run. I would say how the speedrun got to the state it is. I've actually prepared a Wind Waker. That would be actually a very good showcase. I was not prepared for this. I do actually have one with the grappling hook. Quite interesting you can do actually if you super swim. So if you actually are swordless in this game and you actually super swim, what will actually happen is perform like a wrong move. They're gonna actually think that you're too long. So I'm actually gonna swing to the gamepad for this part. Too far out of bounds. What will actually happen is that it's actually going to crash. For some reason, this area doesn't actually crash if you go too far and actually kind of showcase Plaza. You can actually, and as you can see, he's a couple of his pixels at the world. If you have the leaf, you can actually leaf in that mode. Here, I'm actually gonna, what I can actually do is I can actually play the Wind Waker song. So that's Wind Waker HD for you.